Today we're going to be spicing up the Whipski music video with the cinepacks firefx pack. They just updated it and added a bunch of new resources and assets to it. This video is actually sponsored by cinepacks. If you know me and my channel, I've been working with cinepacks ever since this channel started pretty much. I think they reached out around 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers back in, I want to say like late 2018, 2019 time when I pretty much just started doing my tutorials. You know, Tyler and I have been working together ever since. And this is the first video on the channel that's actually sponsored. Obviously, I don't just go out and promote any kind of packs or anything. That's why you see me, most of the time promoting my own packs. This one kind of just makes sense. They spend a lot of time, figuring out how to record fire, all these transitions and stuff. I was talking to Tyler on the phone the other day and he was talking about how he used the red camera and it took multiple months to, develop this pack. And the reason I think this pack is so cool is just because it's something that you couldn't go out and get yourself. You have to go spend hours shooting fire and filming, and that's the whole point of these digital assets and stuff, and this is why companies make stuff like this, is to save you time and give you looks of stuff that you wouldn't be able to obtain yourself. If you're new here, what I do is a lot of music video tutorial, effect breakdowns, and vlogs. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to subscribe. I'm going for 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you haven't liked and commented, let's go for 1,000 likes on this video and 100 comments. That'd be greatly appreciated. It helps me push my content to other people that want to see these types of videos. It will help me reach my goal of 2021. If you want to support the channel even more, you can go down in the description and download the free firefx pack and check it out. Or if you're interested and you want to get the full premium version, you can use my code Brian5 at checkout. It'll save you $5 and also helps me out as a creator. So that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, be sure to follow me on all social medias. I'll have them linked below. But yeah, guys, that's enough talking. Let's get into the video, spice up the Whipski music video, kind of show you how to use the pack. So the first thing I'm going to go through is just go ahead and show you what's in the free fire sample pack. They go to the source monitor here and kind of just drag on stuff. It comes with one of these embers, really cool, a fire burst, another fire burst, fire transition. This is my personal favorite, and the reason I would actually go ahead and buy the full pack is because they have 9 of these paper burn transitions that I really haven't seen any other company get down properly. They have that with track mask to make it really easy to use. I'll show you guys how to do that in the tutorial, and then it comes with a sound effect as well. So to get started, the first thing I'm going to do is find where I want this fire transition to take place. I noticed in the music video, they have this fire, and I just, as soon as I watched this video after talking with Tyler, I was like, this is the perfect use of this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just chop out this part of snot at the purple scene just to kind of keep the theme at the place with the fire. And then you can see where we want this transition to take place. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag on the track mat here and then the paper burn on top of it. You can see that they're the same length because you need them both for the transition. So I'm just going to highlight both of these because they're 4K and the video I downloaded is 1080p. I'm just going to scale it to frame size so it fits properly. You can see this is what it looks like. Obviously not what you want. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is go down and chop our clip the length of the transition, and then go to effects and type in track mat and drag on track mat key here onto the actual clip itself, and then go to effects controls. Go ahead and select the mat. You're going to want to choose the video layer with the track mat. So you can see here it says V2, which means it's video layer 2, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the clip again and then go to video 2. And you can see it already kind of worked, but you can see it doesn't transition properly. So what you need to do is go to composite using, and you need to use matte luma. And now you can see the transition works, but there's no clip behind it. So what you have to do is now just drag the clip that you want it to transition to underneath it. It's a lot easier when you have your own clips and you're not just chopping up a music video, because it's going to look a little bit interesting. And I just realized since I moved it up, now the track mat is on the wrong video layer. So now I need to go to video 3, and you can see the transitions going through. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to chop off the beginning just a little bit so it starts off like this. I don't know, that's just personal preference. I think it would look a little bit better if it started off like that. That way the transition's a little bit shorter as well. And then I'm also just going to highlight both these clips, click R on my keyboard for the rate stretch tool, and then just make it a little bit shorter. Again, just because I think it just looks a little bit better shorter. It's all personal preference. You can do whatever you want. I'm just showing you different ways you can tweak it. I really like this transition. I think it's really unique. It's not really possible to obtain without these assets here. And that's in the free pack. Actually, I'm also going to do the first effect just completely with the free pack. and then show you different ways that I would use the paid pack to enhance my video as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to the embers and kind of just choose a point, a little bit of embers and fire, drag it on top as well. Make sure to scale the frame, and then go to effects controls and go to screen just to kind of enhance the transition a little bit. And I think I'm just going to line it up in a different spot a little bit, maybe move it back just a little bit. And I think that's a pretty cool way of using multiple assets to make a transition. Now you can go ahead and add sound effects for the free pack. You only get this option of this burst effect. So we can go ahead and drag that on. I don't know if it's really going to make sense sound-wise with this effect. Probably just line it up with this fire. In the paid pack, they have a whole library of sounds that you could easily make the transition make sense with. You know, obviously with music and stuff, it's going to sound different or whatever. Then on to the next effect. This one is a little bit more creative way of using the fire pack. I kind of just made an effect up out of using the pack. So I'm just going to choose this clip of snot here in this purple room. Click here. And then I'm going to duplicate it and then replace it with After Effects composition. That way we can rotor brush out snot. And then I'm just going to go to the rotor brush tool and then just mask out. Like I always say, the better job you do masking the first frame, the better the overall rotor brush will be. So I'm just going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time here, making it look really clean, especially with fire in the background. It's a little bit harder to make it look good. And I'll show you guys some tricks to make it, you know, look a little bit more realistic than just dragging on the asset itself. Some ways to like tweak the colors and make it just match and make it make sense. And this is actually his finger here, so I'm going to get that as well. And then I just go frame by frame here, making sure to get every frame. And if it messes up, just correct it. And then once you go through and select every frame, go ahead and click freeze. It's going to go through and lock in your rotor brush so you can't change it, but it's also going to mask out your subject. So it just takes a second to process. And then once it's done freezing, go ahead and click X on your layer here, and you should be able to see that your mask layer. And I think it looks pretty good. You can see there's a little bit of, because he's whipping his hand around, a little bit of rough edges. So I'm just going to turn up the feather a little bit, maybe something a little bit more than normal, like 17. Also just going to shift the edge in a little bit. Now we can see that looks a little bit better. And then again, just duplicate the layer and delete the rotor brush from there. That way the top layer is just your subject and the bottom layer is just the default clip. Then I'm going to go ahead and go into the cinepacks pack 1 of 2 of the paid pack and go in and drag in embers 6 and then drag that in between the two layers. What you're gonna have to do is, because I'm working with 1080p footage and this is 4K footage, I'm just gonna turn the scale down to 50 so it fits the screen properly. And then I'm also going to go to screen. Then I'm gonna right click and go to time and then time remapping. And then I'm gonna find the last frame in the embers and I'm just gonna drag it so that it fits the clip perfectly length. So I'm just speeding it up basically. So you can see I'm making the keyframe and right the last keyframe, and now you can see that the embers are a lot faster pace, but the whole clip plays in this now. That looks pretty cool, but what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go to effects and presets and go to lumetri and drag on lumetri color onto it. And then I'm gonna go to creative, and in the paid pack, this is actually really cool and I really like, it has fire LUTs. And I'm going to go ahead and use the nebula one. And what that's going to do is go ahead and turn the fire to purple. So it matches the room perfectly, actually. I don't have to do much to tweak it. It's really nice and it saves a lot of time like that. So then I'm going to go ahead and go into the pack again and probably use one of the fire bursts. So I'm going to go ahead and drag fire burst 5 on, drag it in the middle again, and bring it to screen as well. And then I'm also going to do the scale and make it 50, and then also the time remapping. That way the full burst goes on the clip. That looks pretty cool, but we need to match the lumetri. So what I'm gonna do, instead of dragging on lumetri again and using the LUT, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the lumetri that we already have. Now you can see the fire in the background kind of goes a little crazy. I think that looks pretty cool. Some other things you can do to make it look a little bit more interesting is if you have universe, I'm going to go ahead and use universe heat wave and drag that onto the top layer or the layer with snot. And I'm going to find where the fire is kind of at its max peak. Go to effects, go to the keyframes, keyframe the intensity and the blur amount. And I'm probably going to keyframe it to the intensity, maybe something like 35, and then the blur amount, like right around 35 as well, actually. Go to the beginning, keyframe it at 0, and then go all the way to the end and keyframe it at 0 as well. Then I'm going to highlight all these keyframes and just ease them to make it look a little bit better. And now you can see that that little bit of blur really does a lot to the clip actually and make it seem like it's actually taking place. You can also go ahead and copy and paste the heat wave onto the fire clips as well, just to kind of have it like interactive as well. It kind of just like applies the same amount of blur and stuff to that. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is highlight all the clips, pre-compose them actually, and then go and drag some kind of glow on there. I'm going to use sapphire glow, I think. And then I just found the clip where the heat wave's at its max peak, and then I'm going to sample the color of that, and I'm actually just going to drag it all the way to the purple. Obviously that is a little bit much, but I'm just going to add a little bit of glow, maybe something like 0.9, and then I'm going to play with the threshold. 0.56 looks good for me. The blur amount as well, just bring that up a bit. And then I'm going to keyframe the brightness at maybe a little bit more than 0.9 because it is just going to be for a few frames. Go to the beginning, keyframe it to 0, and then go to the end and also keyframe that to 0. And then again, just going in and easing them. Then you can see it's a little bit more interactive and has a little bit of that glow. You can use VR glow, you can use any kind of glow really. And if you really wanted the heat wave look as well, you could do like wave warp with some Gaussian blur. This tutorial is not for just that, but I just wanted to show you guys how to like compose the fire in a little bit more to make it look more realistic, even though it's purple fire and stuff, but you get the point. And then I'm gonna go ahead and file save that and then go back into Premiere, and we can see our little clip. I think it's a super cool way of just adding a little bit of that, you know, just effect and flair to it with not too much effort. And then I'm going to go to the fire sounds as well, and I wanted to use the ember loop, like going to the source before and then picking out a part. Also, maybe go to the fire riser. Actually, I'm going to add a burst. I think a burst sounds pretty good. I like this burst 9. I'm going to drag it on but not use it yet because I want to hear what this sounds like. That's a good background like texture sound. Something I'm going to go to do to it is just add a little bit of a fade. So I know it's already fading out, but I want it to fade out a little bit more because I don't want it to be this long. And then we could just go like something like that. That sounds pretty good. And then I'm going to layer it with this sound as well. And we're just going to find where the fire kind of flares up, and then drag the peak of the amplitude of the sound on it. You can see that's kind of like the peak, so I want it to go there. And I think I'm just gonna maybe hold R and speed it up a bit. It's gonna make it sound a little bit higher pitched, but it's also gonna match the clip a little bit more. And then I'm also just gonna cut it because it doesn't need to last that long. And then go ahead and add the fade as well. And that sounds pretty good. Obviously with the music and stuff, it would sound a lot better and would feel a little bit more real and authentic, but I like the way it sounds. One last thing before we end the video, I just wanted to kind of show off the paid pack a little bit more because I know I touched on all the fire burns, but there are actually some really, really cool ones. And this is what I would be most interested in. So I just wanted to show you guys before I ended the video. Here's one of the paper burns. There's 9 of them in total here. Like I said, if you guys did want the free pack, I'll have that link below, as well as the pack that includes all of these. It's the paid pack, and if you use code Brian5 at checkout, you'll save yourself $5 as well as support me. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for this. That's a real cool one. I like that one a lot. But yeah, just one more here. Those are my favorite. That's why I just wanted to take a little extra second and show you guys there. Obviously, it comes with embers, fire frames, So it just has like frames around the edges and stuff, sound effects that we were going through, the paper burns, the fire transitions where it kind of just wipes over the screen, as well as the fire bursts that we used. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this video. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, if you wanted to purchase the pack or use the free pack, I'll have them both linked below. Use code Brian5 if you decide to get the paid pack. Shout out to cinepacks for sponsoring this video. If you guys do like my videos and want to support me as a creator, go over to cinepacks. At least get the free pack. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. You just go ahead, download it, check it out, show cinepacks that it's worth sponsoring this channel. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this video. Peace.